And the gang is, well, most of us is all here.
Anything going on here? Hi there. You doing all right?
Yep, doing spectacular.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm just gonna come and not worry about it.
I don't know what else to say. I'm
It's okay.
I'm physically tired.
Yeah.
You a little tired?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm going to switch chairs out. This chair doesn't look too much better. This chair looks soiled.
Oh, come on, it's not that bad.
No, this chair looks all right. Looks like somebody. This chair's all right. Yeah, this chair's all right.
You can just dust it off, you know.
That one's not dusty. Somebody did something. All right.
Who did what to?
How you doing? Hi there. How are you?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
Okay, busy, and as a lead into the very heavy busyness coming up starting tomorrow. Wow.
Early registration.
Yep. Busy and then getting busier.
He's joining us for the first time today.
Oh, wonderful. Hi there. Oh, my name's Steven.
Celso.
Advisor history.
Celso.
Celso.
Yeah. Like Kelso, but with a C.
Cool.
Yeah. That's the easiest way that I can
Awesome.
explain.
You know what? I forgot to get my tea. I need to go back and get my tea. I forgot. I'm already thirsty. It hasn't even begun yet.
Well, on, we'll be waiting.
Okay, that sounds really good.
Oh, there's Francisco.
Hey, long time no see.
No,
Not-
you're good.
Not really. We just
I don't know what Kristen's plan is. Hi. Hello.
Is it awkward that I still remember everyone's power names?
No.
Why is that awkward?
I don't know. Ever since we made it into a game, they've stayed locked into my memory.
Yeah, it's a very good way to remember people's names. Is there anyone in here that doesn't have a power name?
Power name.
Me.
If you ask me,
I had to bring them up.
that's exactly
I had to make a power name.
You don't have a power name? So can you tell us your name and your position at the college?
It's Allison Ingalls, and I'm an academic advisor.
Okay, so Allison is your first name. So the power name, you have to have another word that starts with A.
Mm-hmm.
And you need to put that in front of your first name. So like amazing, Ellison, or always, I don't know, anticipating Ellison.
Okay.
Something like that.
Okay, I'll come up with something.
Well,
Who else doesn't have?
Hi,
Oh, you
Allison.
weren't at ours. Halloween.
I do have a power name though, because I did it before.
Okay.
The Quirky
Quit
Quinn.
Academy.
Quirky
Quinn.
Unexpected but really good.
I'm Ninja Nini, by the way.
For general
Oh,
advisor.
you're here today.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, well, thank you. Technically, our club meeting hasn't really started yet, so.
We're missing a couple pieces.
Where did Quinn go, too? It was interesting. Everyone came for the meeting at 4:30
Do you have
and then
black and
decided that they just would do something.
do you have any
and come
leftover black and
back.
whites?
I don't think so. Those are all pieces.
You're back.
Faster than Steven.
Well, let's make up our
Yeah.
own. then.
Water. You settled for water.
Okay, just remember this. That's.
Hey, you're back.
Wait, that.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Thank you. Hi, everybody doing all right? Apologize for being a little late. Had an advisor pop in at the last minute.
Today we have Allison joining us. Allison,
Yes.
and you told me before, but can you say again your position and why you came here today?
Well, I'm an academic advisor here at Richland, and I'm also a life coach, and I do coaching with Horses for People.
We all want to support each other in our goals and our vision. Why Allison would be a really good person to have here, especially since she does life coaching. I'm sure she could answer a lot of questions and have really good insights when she comes to our club meetings. I want to give a review of what we did last meeting, what we want to do today, and then a little bit of news. So what we did last meeting was we talked about fear. For anyone who didn't know or wasn't here, it was the theme of our Halloween party. We briefly mentioned it. At the meeting, at our last meeting, each one of us got a chance to say one fear that they had overcome and one fear that they wanted to overcome. So the next goal for this meeting was to have written out a letter to your future self in 10 years with what you want to say to them, any lessons from what you've learned in between then, or anything else. If you haven't done that, that's okay. Maybe you could just think of some things you want to say to your future self. If you have, then read it.
Whose idea was that, by the way?
The fear topic was mine, and the future self was Kristen.
Wow, great.
Yeah, the starting the idea of writing a letter to your future self. I just got it really by chance. A couple of weeks ago, I read a letter that I wrote long time ago. Around 2 years ago, I come to America, and when I was on the airplane, I wrote myself a letter. And lately, I just look back at it, and I find really interesting to see the progress that I've been making and how I've been changing. So I hope that this activity is kind of useful for you guys. Probably 10 years later, if you still keep the letter and look at it, it's going to be something really outstanding and tremendous to see.
Awesome idea.
Yeah, it really is.
So if you didn't write the letter, it doesn't mean you can't still write it. And if you want, you can maybe talk about anything you want to say to your future self for now and write the letter later. But if you did, then yay, we're looking forward to hearing it. A really good piece of news. Thank you to Anthony.
Wait.
Amazing, Anthony.
Hello.
I want because he helped finally create our YouTube channel.
Finally.
Yay!
Well, these guys had the idea for a year or so.
Longer than that. It's
Oh,
been
yeah.
about over 2 years
Yeah.
that we've been wanting a YouTube channel. I mean, since we've been around. And we really wanted to start posting these amazing videos we had of student presenters who would come up and share their vision. I mean, the people at the club could see it, but we wanted other people to be able to see it, or be able to have the person who gave the speech look back on it later on, and see where they've come or what idea stuck with them. So Anthony has already posted on the channel a video from our Halloween party, which was pretty good. And then he has done Colby Dawson's. Colby Dawson was a member in the Visionary Club, and he's currently in UT Austin. And he
Transferred.
Yeah, he transferred. He's in UT Austin with another 2 members of ours. Actually, they're in the same house. So that's the way that you can make connections in this club.
Julia.
Mike and Julia.
Really?
Yeah, Mike Olive and Julia Alessandra. And both Colby and Julia are interested in psychology. And Colby's vision was helping people individually. It was actually quite similar to mine, but different in certain ways.
Wow, yeah.
And Julia wants to help people, and then Mike is interested in the business world. On the channel, so there's Colby's video. It's about 24 minutes, so you guys can. I posted it on the Facebook, and I want to try to add it to the newsletter. Maybe you could do that so that you guys can watch it, so we don't.
Are we going to put up the other ones that we did? You did an awesome one.
Well, he's working on
Yeah,
it, but
I'm working on it.
I got them to Anthony, and Anthony's.
You put them up.
Yep.
Okay.
I'm gonna edit them, and they're all gonna be up by the end of the week.
Wow, that's impressive. Can you get service learning credit for that?
thing we want to talk about is the Winter Dash. We want to talk about now. Not Winter Dash. Winter Dash.
Yeah.
It's a little too cold to run, isn't it? We've already got the turkey trot.
Well, that sounds like a
We're
Santa
gonna go run for world peace. No.
No, I would die of starvation.
The Winter Dash. Do you want to tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, the Winter Dash is a annual event sponsored by student government. It's basically a carnival themed club fair. All clubs are encouraged to join, and basically you create a game that you want to do for the event. It's going to be December 1st from 11 to 3 in El Paso. It's going to be like a similar club fair all the tables would be set up. But the only thing different is that each club would have their own theme, and students would be given a stamp card. And if they attended that booth, they get a stamp. And if they get 8 cents, then they get free pizza. So I think last semester you did like a bowling.
Yeah, the activity we had last semester went over really well. We had a bunch of 2-liter Coke bottles, the plastic Coke bottles, and we had taken sticky notes with negative messages, and we had posted them all over the plastic bottles, and they were messages that were self-deprecating, like "I'm not good enough," "I'll never succeed," or "She told me that I can't do this," or "No, I'm supposed to do that." Or "You're too fat," "You're too ugly," "You're too poor." Think messages like that. And so we got a ball, and what our original plan was we couldn't do. We wanted to put positive messages all over the ball and hit but we just had a ball, and we had people throw the ball at the bottles to knock them down. And so the ball represented their confidence. It represented their vision. Knock down the negative messages that they were telling themselves, and then other people were telling themselves, so that they could succeed. And we actually had a big board. It had the Visionary Club on it, and we called the Visionary Club, and everybody wrote a word or a sentence of what motivates them, of what they feel helps them go on. So there were wonderful things on that board.
Sheila, would you like me to bring that in? And it could be kind of a mascot.
Yeah.
This group here. I have it at home in my office as an inspiration. But I'm going to bring it in because I think that would be a good inspiration.
That would be great. And speaking of and I think there's a picture of it on our Facebook. Speaking of a mascot, technically our mascot was a monkey. We had a monkey and we had everybody sign it. Maybe I should bring that to our next event. I don't know.
I'm confused with our logo. First it was a monkey, and then it turned into a lotus.
Oh wait, the logo?
I don't know. Is it a lotus or is it a monkey?
How about a monkey being born from a lotus?
It was never a monkey.
No, yeah, the logo could be the lotus, but the mascot.
Do you guys want to try to do that same activity again for the winter guys, or something different?
Was it competitive?
What do you mean by that?
Or like, was it like depending on how many water bottle you strike down, you got a candy or something?
We gave candies to anybody who wanted them, and we had a really big line, and we actually had 2 different types of balls. That was part of it too, I forgot to mention. One was bigger, and it was heavier. It was more likely to knock down the water bottles. One was small and light. You could choose which one to throw. And it the bigger one was this bigger confidence, and the smaller one was less confidence. Some people chose with the smaller.
Just overhanded.
And then some people, they took the big ball and they shoved it.
Oh, did it break the window?
And it bounced against the window, it bounced back, and it didn't get the balls. And we said to them, okay, you can have too much confidence. So there were some lessons being taught.
That's really good.
With the game. You have to get the right amount of confidence. The right, So that was a pretty good activity.
They had balloon shaving, and there was this one club that focused on raising awareness for parenthood or something. And one of the games was changing a baby's diaper. And there's Duck Dynasty, because they're we're the ducks, they were the ducks. Yeah. Cute themes.
Can you explain what exactly that is?
Okay, so they were. They had ducks set up, and then they got Nerf guns. And one of the club president, I guess, Travis, he dressed up as some of the Duck Dynasty character with the beard and everything. And they gave people Nerf guns to shoot down the ducks.
We have to send you that.
Duck Dynasty is basically a celebration of redneck culture.
Oh, okay.
That's what you're asking about.
Yeah.
I used to think before I saw it that it was a cartoon, and I was very disappointed when I found out it wasn't.
Yeah.
schedule.
Who wants to volunteer? Who's free or who thinks they're free on December 1st?
What time is that?
11 to 3.
Yeah,
Is that on a
available.
It's a Monday.
Oh, yeah, I'm free.
So we're sticking with that team?
What about a ring toss? Or
Elaborate on the ring toss.
Well, if then
What?
see, the thing about ring toss is you can imagine your goal. What do you want to achieve in your life, in your education, and just however many rings, how many things you get. What, 3? Get 3 tries. But it doesn't. If you miss, doesn't mean you're not going to reach your goal. It's an exercise in striving for your goal.
Yeah, it's a positive exercise towards, the one you just described is getting rid of the negative things that stop you, which is extremely valuable. The other side of that is the positive. It's like what am I going to accomplish? And actually visualizing it is one of the most powerful things you can do.
And it doesn't matter if you miss, because in life, when you first miss, you try again.
Something else I've seen too that is really good is like multiple levels of, so people usually have a plan and there's the long term that's the whole thing. But in order to get there, there's usually like at least 3 levels of steps to get there. And there's the small steps first, and then the intermediate steps, and then the long range steps. And so I've seen variations of that too.
Would it be a hoot if you missed number 1 and number 2, but you made a ring on your life?
no,
You also incorporate an element of being afraid to fail.
Yeah.
That's right.
That's a big problem for people wanting to hit their goals or having goals is they're just too afraid to fail. So they're never try.
So
Maybe another way of putting it, you didn't fail, you just didn't quite totally reach exactly where you want to go, but it doesn't mean, it means you're still, but you can say it means you're still in the ballpark. All right? You're still in the ballpark. And that's another positive reinforcement. You don't quite exactly make the goal. You haven't thrown it back behind you. You haven't hit somebody in the face in another table. You're still in the ballpark.
maybe it could be like a floor thing instead of paper, so that there are like different circles or something. Like somewhere on the circle on the range,
I would imagine each table only has so much room.
Well, you can use the table and the floor or the floor. When we use the table, we're using up the table and the sign next to us and the floor next to
Oh.
us.
how big of an area do we have?
I don't know. I've not done this.
The table and right next to it.
So whatever's next to the table could be your room.
No,
Or even if
nuts.
it's not a ring, maybe one of them basketball things, that they have to have in offices, there's little baskets. You try to connect the basket. That's another, and that's another one. Give them 3 shots at the basket.
Yeah, you can even have them write things that are like their, part of their objective on what they throw.
That's true too.
It's the concept of how do you eat an elephant one bite at a time. Sometimes things are overwhelming, and if you look at them as one small step at a time, it's very helpful.
That's how we got to the moon.
One of our very first members had an idea to put up a picture of the globe, a big picture of the globe, and have people put their handprints on it. Now, the only problem with that is that the office student life does not let them have time or anything else, or it can be messy. But we could have them put their hand out and like line it with a marker or something like that. And it shows that each of us make a difference on the world.
I'm going to need a very big globe.
Yeah. You could get an ink pad and do that.
It's not always easy to get off, and if we have to talk about issues or something, we can do that.
Wash their hands.
Well, but it also sticks, and you can touch things. Brings
Kinda
up
like
the
the
same
paint.
element as paint.
So could we go around and get everyone's opinion because I hear silence from many people. It'd be nice to get a vote. Ring toss or bobbles. So, can I go around or let's see what What do I think first? Okay, honestly, I'd like to have a little bit of both. But that's just what
You
I
don't
that's
have
my
to-
answer to everything, though. I'd like to have a ring toss on the table and right next to it, maybe just a couple of bottles, though. Or I'd like to incorporate like another kind of, just to make sure that we know that negative talk demotivates us, positive talk motivates us. I want to have some way to teach that.
Okay, another idea for that. Another poster, about the size of the one from last year, split it in half. And it's real, on one side, what are negative messages I have heard? On the other side, what might I say to correct that? For instance, I'm not physically able to run a marathon because I've never done it before. And then the positive one might say, I am ambitious and goal-oriented, and through training, I will run the marathon. Okay, that's just one example. Okay. Or like, for instance, year 2, whatever, here's another example. Year 2, whatever, to have a committed relationship. You love it. And then I could say, I am sweet, kind, lovable, and loving, and the perfect person will just belong right on to me. Okay, that kind of thing, you know. These are just examples. And so a board like that, where you're kind of combining activities. You have it on one side, negative messages people have gotten, and on the other side, they get to put in the positive message. And they can even write it down. My life is negative. I can't balance my life. Positive. My life is in balance, and I'm growing and deepening that balance. Yeah, exactly.
Everybody's got
That's
something
the fun
negative
of
they
it.
can think
Exactly.
of.
That and the ring toss would be
Yeah.
a good idea.
Ring toss is easy. So.
Who was up for that? The sign Stephen was talking about, the two-sided sign and the ring toss.
I'm game.
Okay, it's unanimous. Not the way that Quinn runs her SGA meetings, but
Okay.
similar. Okay, so we'll do a ring toss and two-sided poster.
So the people who stop by have to write their own negative thought and positive one.
To counteract that. It's like, it's like the idea, if you have a bad cold or something, what is the antidote? If you have a bad thought, what is the antidote?
It's really similar to the color code that we do in the learning power. You remember that?
The cards?
Yeah, the color card. And we have how many colors? 4 colors.
There's red for anger, blue for sadness, yellow for anxiety or worry, and green for happiness.
That kind of thing. And there are 4 colors. And the blue stands for positive thing. The other color is red, stand for is that anger, right?
The green is positive.
And the sad is the yellow is the sad one.
The blue is sad.
No,
Blue is anxious.
the blue blue is sad, and the yellow is for what? Is supported.
Yeah, the green is happy, the blue is sad, the red is angry, and the yellow is anxious. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Here we go. And in that learning power, we learn how to identify what's your color for today. Are you feeling sad, angry, or disappointed? And then we learn how to change that color, that negative color, into the positive color, which is green. And it's really similar to the activity that you just talked about. So I really like that. Yeah.
We asked the students, so what did you enjoy about this week, Ben? Or, I know green is, we asked them to stack it in order of importance, the colors. So if green is on the bottom, we asked, well, you did put it on the bottom, so it's still in there. So what happened during this? Has anyone in here written a letter to their future selves from last meeting?
Do we want to do it here or like on mail or at home?
I thought we were going to say we were going to have people read it at this meeting.
Uh-oh.
Just from the email was it can be done from here.
Yeah, that's what we said.
You can go around and let everyone talk about what the wood side
Well,
so
it's
that
gonna
it
take
helps
some
them
introspection.
brainstorm.
It's going to take a little bit of like if no one's addressed that yet, it may take a few minutes just to let them get grounded within themselves and, think about what they might, maybe 2 or 3 characteristics they might want to say.
So who was in our last meeting? Can you raise your hand? Francisco, Kristen, Lynn, Anthony. Okay, so we had a little bit of time to think about that. I'm sure we've thought of something to say to you. How about we all go with some of that, and then next time the other members can have a chance to chip in with that? Kristen, have you thought of anything yet?
Something that I want to talk to myself 10 years later is I want to have a job that gives me energy and get me up early in the morning. The job that I never feel tired when I work on it. The job that I feel like I'm contribute to the society and the community. The job that I feel like I'm fulfilling my life. And that's my ultimate goal. The other goal is I kind of questioning where I am in next 10 years, like 10 years later. I'm still in the US or I'm back in Vietnam or somewhere in Africa or Europe. It's kind of interesting. And I think that I think I'm gonna let life bring me anywhere it wants me to be. I love to plan, but sometimes when things doesn't go according to plan, it's okay. Just deal with it and live with it. That's basically what I want to do. So have job and probably be somewhere that I never thought like I will be, like Africa, Europe, probably back in Vietnam.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Who next? Wanna go next?
Yeah, I haven't had much time to think about it because I've got all these video and art projects on me, but I guess I'd want to ask myself 10 years later is have you moved your mind out of your parents' house yet?
Your mind, not your.
Yeah,
Like,
seriously,
okay.
I don't know where this thought came from, but I guess it's from. I used to think that everything runs on your parents' approval. Like you can't go to your friend's house. You can't participate in this club without your parents say so. And because of that last nightmare I've had to rethink what the word yes and no means. So that's one thing I want to ask myself in 10 years. Have I figured out what yes means? Have I figured out what no means? And another question I want to ask is, how much of a rebel have you become? Not in the bad sense, no. Just did you do things that did you succeed at where everyone else would fail and everyone else tried to put you down for it? And did you get to do everything that they never got to do but they don't want you to do, and how badly did you slap them in the face for your achievements? So, yeah, as of right now, those are the 2 questions I've got in my mind.
I just want to say something. I just want to acknowledge you for moving beyond what's been limiting you. And another archetype of a rebel.
Okay, thank you.
And we affirm that you will know exactly where you'll be and where you need to be and go within 10 years. You'll know it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Just like the salmon knows where to go every season.
And I also want to say just how important it is that you are taking the time to actually create that for yourself and know that you have the power to create that.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Anyone else want to go?
I guess I could start talking about stuff. Okay, so my issue with this is that I wrote the whole thing.
You want to read it? Or is it?
Well, the thing is, I started writing and it was kind of like a diary thing. Like, it's very personal, but but it's very interesting. You're gonna be like, but do I just start reading some of it? Yeah. I'll skip over parts.
Just summarize it a little
Yeah,
for us.
whatever you feel intuitionally is
Dear future Nini, this is your 24-year-old self. I am sure at the moment there's probably a lot on your mind. Perhaps you have a child or two.
very detailed. I like it. Also very, very deep and alive.
Making edits and changes to.
Is that what?
Oh.
Oh my god. My naive 24-year-old.
Or they tend to be, I don't know if inspirational is a genre. I don't know, they're I don't know if I can put a genre on some of the other ones I write.
Inspirational. And her voice is very angelic. I will attest to that. I've heard her sing.
But anyway, another goal I have is just to be able to talk to people more about stuff that I've done, but in a way where I'm humble, so that I can at least share it. But
Well, when Jesus said, "You too can do as I and even greater," that's kind of like that approach. You can do the same as me, and you can even do greater.
But after this semester, I really want to start working on my vision, which is putting the 3 healing practices together. And there are 2 books I want to write, and I want to kind of write out some more notes about them. One is my biography, and the other one is the healing practices.
I have are these letters going to be stored here and then returned to us at a certain time, or do you put them
The letter to
yourself?
yourself. I don't think that was planned yet.
If I write, I'm going to lose it, or just just keep reading it or something.
Well, you could keep it online and then it would never get lost. But then again, it wouldn't be as fun to hold. I've found things from the past and I hold it. It's pretty cool.
My thought is that because it's so personal and private, it should stay with the writer. However, what you can do is put it in a jewelry box or something that you can keep aside, and maybe every year consult and see where you are with it. Have you changed? Has it changed? Have you manifested what you plan to do? Where are you on the path? But keep it hidden away so you're not tempted. But keep it hidden where you know it's hidden, so you don't lose it that way.
I think there's even online. There's something a website called like Capsule Now or some. There's all
there
these
are multiple
different
websites. There's this website
that
I
you
use for
add a few different email addresses, and then you add a week from today or a year from now or 2 years from now, and then it kind of emails it to you. So then in that 3 years or 5 or whatever, you're like, oh, I didn't even remember I did that.
Yeah. The one I use is Penzu, Penzu, and that's whenever I feel like writing a journal entry or something. I can't ever keep up with it, but every once in a while. And then it locks it. You can put a passcode on it, and then you can also if you want somebody to look at it after you pass away or something, there's something you'll email it to them if that later on at a certain. So yeah.
Email fun.
But I must. I know my dad keeps a daily diary. That's the only thing I've asked for him. I'm like, what do you want if I'm back? I want your diary.
Visit me at the cemetery, jerk. Never come visit with flowers. Flowers next to my tombstone.
This conversation just took a turn from the work.
But I wanted to mention something earlier I forgot to mention. I was thanking Anthony for putting the videos together, but I didn't think Joe, he had taken all of those videos during our meeting, so I wanted to thank him. I didn't have credit in anything.
Yeah, you've been working very hard, so both in capturing at the meeting and then editing afterwards.
Are you heading out?
Yeah.
Okay.
Bye.
Thanks for coming. Thank you for coming.
I can say something. I used to write a lot of diaries, and then I would read over them for fun. And I guess mine would go something like, "Hello, future twin. How are you today? Are you dating anyone? Do you love that person? How's Uncle Tom doing?" And then I would talk about what would be important to me. Currently, I'm 20, and I find these things very important. School, the people in my life. Do you still find those things important? If not, you should. Because 20-year-old Quinn is pretty smart, so you should listen to her. And then, to continue. But I think it's very important to write what you find important right now. Because from my experience reading my diaries, and I read the things I write, and I want all the things I find important, like it would be like, today I did blah 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 blah. I went to him for a sleepover and had breakfast or something like that. But it's so interesting to see what you thought was important and reading it for like 5 years from now. Like, wow, I thought those things were important back then, and see how much you've grown, like how much you've matured, like how much.
If you want to try something that might even be more evocative, flip it. Write to your 20-year-old, 24-year-old as your future self 10 years from now.
Oh,
So now you're projecting 10 years out, and you're taking the role of your future self, saying, "Hi, I'm Michael. Hi, Kristen." So, looking back on this last 10 years, let's talk about what we have accomplished, and look at it that way. It's potentially more evocative because if there's any uncertainties, that's going to come out too. If you're not sure about something, you're afraid of something, or something's insecure, or also if you're very clear about what you want to accomplish, now you're going to write from that accomplishment. I originally did that when I was 40, in my 40s, and I went to a workshop, and they had us write. Write from our future self 5 years later. You don't even have to go 10 years. You go 5 years. So much can happen. And so it was interesting what I discovered, and of course, very little of it ever really came true. It's okay, but it's a good exercise again in kind of materializing goals, but this time from having accomplishing what you see yourself projecting towards. Okay. But keeping in mind at the same time, life is what happens when we are busy making plans. That's the other half of it, So have fun, take it seriously, but don't take it seriously. Does that make sense? It's a challenge if you want to try it. I've done it. I did it in my 20s, in my early 20s, when I was in college, just on my own. And then I did a lot of visualization, and then I did it in my 40s. So, interesting. So, just a thought.
What was that second topic? Can you go over it?
From your future self, either 5 years from now, 10 years is too much, or 10 years from now, write a letter to you at your current age. So 10 years from now, you'll be 34. Say, well, hi there. What's your name again? Celso. Okay, hi Celso. It's so good to be in touch with you. Over the last 10 years, you just wouldn't imagine. I'll bet you never imagined what you have accomplished, looking at where you are now. Don't you feel good about yourself? Look at what you've done. And just go ahead and do it from that. Reflecting on what's, just asking for your inner guidance, your inner light. Say, what would be realistic for him to tell me? What would be unrealistic? Where would I need some kudos, and where might I need some course corrections? It's potentially evocative because in that case, because I didn't do any of this 10 years stuff like y'all were talking about, but But I was sitting here thinking of what I would write to or what my 10-year self would write back to me. And it did uncover some uncertainties for me. It really did, which, I didn't even realize I had so much of it. So it's a good exercise for self-discovery either way.
I think it helps getting us to think critically too and seeing the bigger picture of
Mm-hmm.
things. Also, maybe thinking of other people's experiences and people we know in our lives. So, then I hope that all of you would be willing to at least write one of the letters to your future self or yourself back to your current self, whichever one sparks your interest, and then maybe sharing it at our next meeting. We can continue sharing. Hopefully you'll have time to do that. If you don't have time, then at least when you have little interruptions, bathroom breaks, I don't know, just think about it. Like really think about it. Okay? Would you guys be willing to do that? Yeah, sure. I just want to show you a motivational video. It's about 4 minutes long. I just really liked it. Yeah, I can see. There's about an inch though. So.
Everybody see it well? Y'all see it good?
Imagine, if you will, being on your deathbed and standing around your bed, dreams given to you by life, the ideas that you never acted on, the talents, the gifts, the abilities that you never used. And there they are, standing around your bed, looking at you with large, angry eyes, saying, "We came to you. And only you could have given us life. And now we must die with you forever." And the question is, if you died this very moment, what will die with you? What dreams? What ideas? What talents? What greatness that you showed up to bring? Don't allow fear of failure and the attractiveness of playing it safe in life to draw you in. You can't get out of life alive. You got to die to leave here. You have something special. You have greatness within you. You were born phenomenal. Listen to me. You were literally born phenomenal. Like the whole process. Like there are like 5 million options in the womb. We're not talking about one sperm cell and one egg. There are 5 million options out of 5 million options. You made it.
They've got to make their way through a complex series of environments in a kind of warfare. It is warfare.
Innately, everything about you is great. Everything about you is phenomenal. But the problem is, you have consciously chosen to be average. You were average in school. You were average at your workplace. Everything you do is average. And not because it's average, but because you made a decision. You made a choice to be average. Why? Because the people around you are average. Or maybe you grew up in an average environment, or went to an average school, or you worked for an average company, so you decided. You decided to go against who you are. You decided to go against who you are. So that's why you go to the basketball games. That's why you spend hours watching your favorite athlete. Right? Because when you watch them, there's something about you that's attracted to that greatness because there's something in you that's great. That's why you put those headphones on and you just shut the whole world out and you listen to your favorite artist, you listen to them sing, or you listen to them rap, and deep down inside, you hurt when you listen because it's just you. You are attracted to greatness because greatness is all in you. But it's easier to watch greatness. It's easier to go see greatness than it is to put in the time, to put in the energy, to discipline yourself, to sacrifice. It's easier. And so that's why you average. And so you're frustrated because you're not living like you should live. No, you don't have what you should have. You're not being who you should be. I would hate to live and die and never know what would happen if I ever committed myself to anything. But you've never seen what you could be if you threw your whole self at your dream. It's time for you to look within yourself and decide that I'm in charge of my destiny. I'm in charge here. And when you decide I'm going to do it, the universe will yield to you. And life will never be the same again. Live your dream. The kingdom of God is within man, not one man nor a group of men, but in all men, in you. You, the people, have the power. The power to create machines, the power to create happiness. You, the people, have the power to make this life pretty and beautiful, to make this life a wonderful adventure. And that if you decide that my life deserves my developing this what I do well, and becoming the best at it, and mastering myself, and seeing what I have within me, I grant you, you will never ever be without. I'm telling you, greatness is here. Greatness is upon you. You gotta act like it.
Any thoughts?
Okay.
Things you agree or disagree, especially the advisors first.
Very touching. I was very touched. Very powerful.
Kind of hit home for me because of some of my dreams that I've been afraid to let out, you know. And, so
That was mysterious, Marcella, by the way.
So mysterious, she must leave.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming. Wow, that was really powerful. Where did you find out about that?
Huh?
Where did you find that?
Oh, I'm an internet searcher.
She sent me that one day.
One of my biggest interests in life is just finding motivational material, learning about how the brain works, and so I do a lot of searches sometimes, and I just come across things. So
Could you do me a favor and put that, send me a link to it, and I'll put it on my list on Facebook, and I'll share it on my Facebook page or something.
I post things like that all the time on my Facebook, and especially the page I created, the Living Your Inner Flame. I did that recently. Do you know everyone here that do you know their names?
I didn't meet everybody officially.
I don't think we did that.
Oy vey.
Can we go around and each say our names, and if you have a power name, say it, and if you don't, then think of a word that goes with your first name. You can change it later if you don't like it. The same letter.
I'm Kristen Kiwi.
You're who?
Kristen Kiwi.
Oh, okay. All right, Kiwi.
I am Amazing Anthony.
Wait a minute. Your real name is Kiwi, Kristen or Kiwi?
Kristen.
Kristen. Okay.
So it's like Kiwi Kristen.
Kiwi Kristen. Okay.
Yeah.
And
Amazing Anthony.
Well, I haven't I've had many power names in my time.
Pick
Stormy
one.
Steven? Stormy Steven?
No. No, because I'm not, could be emotionally stormy.
Striking Steve.
I don't know. I have to
Spectacular
think
Steven.
about it. I have given myself, I had a name come to me when I was in grad school. It was a Native American name. The name I was given was floating white cloud. I don't know if I should use that. I was fine. My goodness.
Yeah, usually the power name has to have one word with the first letter of your first name.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'll
Could be a
tell you
different
what.
name you want to be known as.
When I was in high school, I came up with a name called Steve.
I like that.
And that's how my friends all do.
I like that.
We'll go there.
Okay. You're from Francisco, right? You introduced yourself
Well, I'm
Who?
Fan Francisco.
Fun, Francis.
Or you can call me
That's fun.
Francisco.
Fun, Francisco.
Francisco.
Francisco. Yeah, I like that.
I like that.
Francisco. That's pretty awesome.
C is not S.
Huh?
You need another word
Well,
that
his-
has
His
S.
name starts with a
This goes
C.
C.
Oh,
It's
okay.
pronounced with an S.
You're accurate too.
Whenever I hear words, I imagine them in my head. So I was
Celery.
seeing.
Celery. Sound like you're selling something.
That's CLA.
Right.
I don't know. My quirky
Quirky.
twin.
You
It's
say
expected in a good way.
I am Ninja Nini.
love that.
Jumping
Jumpin' Joe. Beautiful. I'm gonna wait till next time.
Oh, come on.
I'm gonna wait.
Okay.
I'm Allison.
How about awesome?
You can change it later. Everybody else had to do it on the spot. I didn't want to do it on the spot.
I'll be always Allison today, but later I want to reserve the right to
Sure.
create something else.
Well, is there anything else, Clem, that our person might want to discuss today before we end the meeting?
Actually, originally we were supposed to like officers today because we did give us and we were supposed to what? Like officers.
Oh.
But they kept pushing it back. So I guess we'll do it next meeting since everyone's
That wasn't.
Wasn't on the agenda. What time is it? It's probably going on.
Yes, it is.
But we can put it formally on the agenda.
Yeah.
Well, I
It's
get
a big thing. Yeah.
We need to have more people here.
You might want to send out or whatever, let people know ahead of time that these are the candidates and let
Well, thanks, guys.
Thank
and
you. Thank y'all. Thank everybody. Thank y'all.
I'm glad you attended our meeting. I hope
Thank you. I just wanted to say too, the day that I met you guys in Stephen's office, I mean, after that, I had a day, the rest of the day at work, where I hit levels I haven't hit in ages and with students, and I was so on fire that everybody around me was noticing it. It was great.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
So it inspired you.
Yeah, very much.
Very inspirational. Did you tell them it's the visionary club fault? Their fault.
Definitely check out. I think it's called Living Your Inner Flame with Nini Fire. It's a Facebook page.
It's living your inner
Is
flame.
Nini Fire your real name?
Nini is a nickname that I'm going by since I was 5.
Uh-huh.
But everybody just calls me Nini. Okay. My actual last name